Hey everyone, there's a thunderstorm, and this thunderstorm is severe, and it's in the river valley. You're seeing the lightning from it earlier from our WeatherBug network camera that was located in Fort Smith. So Evansville is not going to get this thunderstorm complex as of the moment. It's mainly focused in the river valley. Like we said, the coverage is going to be limited, but there will be storm potential, and there's the severe weather risk that's popping up. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings now. While it's very isolated with coverage, there's not expecting to be a severe thunderstorm watch. There's only about a 20% chance of that. Will notice another storm that's popping up just to the west of Salisaw. That's probably not going to impact us much as it makes its way through southern Washington County. And the front edge of this system is just about to push through. So it's not a major system. There is a storm that's a little bit stronger, and it's pushing towards western sections of Scott County, as well as southwestern sections of Sebastian County. So these aren't major storms. They're going to provide a little bit of rain. There was some penny and dime size hail that was reported in Tallahena. That was a little bit earlier with the storm moving through. Severe thunderstorm warnings for Sebastian County, for Lafleur County goes until 9 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning for Scott and western Lafleur County goes on until 9 o'clock. So Kelly, if you're watching, it all depends on where you're at. Likely amount of snow tomorrow morning in northwest Arkansas. It's going to be very limited, but there will be at least snow falling from the sky. Temperatures will be marginal and borderline freezing. But the farther north you go, if you're in Benton County, in central and northern Benton County, you could get a little bit of a light dusting. It's not out of the question to see that. Did someone say snow? Yeah. That's not the last time we're going to say it either before the month of January is up, just to let you know. But I do believe that we do have a little bit of wraparound precipitation coming. And what's interesting is, well, not really seeing that in a lot of other forecasts. So we'll see how this all pans out and evolves. And when I say other forecasts, I'm talking about the models. Now the models are showing it. So not really looking at severe weather threat for Fayetteville. The threat is there, but there's no storms developing in that area. But we still have a little ways before this system makes it through. So let me kind of show you what we've got on the future track here on what it shows, and then we'll see if it really is panning out or coming to fruition. So Saline and Pulaski counties in central Arkansas, and I think these storms are going to be north of that as well. But here's a look at what we've got with the satellite radar as this loads. So there's the spin in the atmosphere. There's the thunderstorms popping up. There are some additional storms that are developing in southeast Oklahoma, and those might be making their way as we pan over into Saline and Pulaski County. We'll have to see how that evolves. But this is not a major system just because the ingredients aren't all there, but the system's pretty, intense, but we didn't have a lot of instability. So let's check out some of our WeatherBug network cameras and see this lightning show that's off in the distance. So there you've got a little bit of lightning that's popping up. This is looking south from our Fort Smith WeatherBug network camera at the public library. Now this storm is showing 2-inch size hail that's popping up. So a little bit bigger hail that's developing. Let's bring that up and let's check this out. Woo, good lightning there. So that shows you that this storm is intensifying a little bit more. Let me bring up this WeatherBug network camera from IMEGADOPPLER here. And yeah, there it is, 2-inch hail. So a very intense, elevated supercell. Tornado potential really doesn't exist with this as of now. We're just not seeing the shear. We're not seeing the circulation. It's just not a surface-based storm, because the moisture and the ingredients and all that stuff isn't really developing. There is some kind of some shear on the leading edge. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of you see some gustnados on the leading edge of the system. And so before we get to the snow, Chandra, if I'm saying that, it's probably Chandra. Before we get to the snow risk, we got to get to the severe weather threat. But there's the hail, and we're looking at potentially 2-inch size hail just to the northeast of Heavener. So let's track this and show you where this is headed. If you live in southern Sebastian County, you might be getting impacted by this. Notice it's fairly rural along the county line. And no, Kylie, not really seeing anything in northwest Arkansas at the moment. This is kind of more focused in the river valley as of now. Let's do a storm track on this. Let's bring up the radar here. We'll start off with, of course, a wide view to show you that there's not many other things going on right now in northwest Arkansas. A few other storms that are popping up. There's a little bit of rumbling in the river valley. There's also some grumbling from Razorback fans on this Razorback versus Tide game. And Alabama looks like they're going to pull off the victory, unfortunately. We had it close, and then it just went downhill. So 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail, but I think that hail might be getting bigger. And then you've got 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail for Logan and Scott County. Both of these warnings go until 9 o'clock. As we go ahead and take a look at the radar and put a track on this, let's show you what we've got. And it's moving pretty quick. Let's look at the latest speed and movement. So 60 miles an hour, that's what I still got it at. We'll do the most dangerous portion of the storm. We'll track it to the northeast. And one of the things when you're doing these storm tracks, you want to kind of go back in time and see if the track is in a proper motion. So what you do is you go back in time, and then you see which way the storm's headed. And then you can kind of get an idea exactly where that core is going to be tracking. So pretty good idea there on where it's headed. So Washburn at 8:50, Boonville at 8:58, and Magazine at 9:05. So that's going to be mainly in the river valley, like we said. Pretty intense storm with some pretty sizable hail right now over the Washitas. So we look back at IMEGADOPPLER. There it is, 2-inch size hail with this storm. In fact, increasing in size. So it looks like we got quarter size hail. Looks like there is a 3-body scattered spike that's starting to appear. Yeah, so hail's getting a little bit bigger on this storm, and they're talking about how it's getting bigger. So it should be including a little bit more in the warning. So raining hard in Alma, and there's our WeatherBug Network camera showing that really heavy rain. Hail just north of Mountainburg. So there's some cold temperatures aloft with this core. You can see it moving through right now. Let me go ahead and we'll bring up IMEGADOPPLER. There's a little bit of a hail core, and this is not severe, but we're definitely getting some hail. So you can see south of Chester, Mountainburg, Rudy, north of Alma. A little bit of a line. But here's a storm that's the most intense, that's severe, and 2-inch hail, I think, is not out of the question with this. We look at the maximum estimated hail size. And by the way, that hail core is going to be tracking literally right in between Hartford and Bates. So very rural. You can see that there's really no towns along the Sebastian and Scott County line, thankfully. Feels pretty good in Fort Smith, I bet. Rumbles of thunder. Temperature's nice and mild. Let's go ahead and we'll check out that WeatherBug Network camera from. This will be a good show, by the way. I think this is going to be a really good show from Mount Magazine. Let's see what we've got. And so this is our WeatherBug Network camera from Mount Magazine. We're looking off to the west-southwest at that 2-inch hail core. And all right. So in the meantime, while we're looking at that, the hail just rapidly decreased too. See if we're getting any reports at all. All righty. I'm just over here checking out, see if we got any report. Yeah, I got a report of some hail that was in the Howe area. So that was a little bit earlier. That was about 1.5-inch ping pong size. Thunder shaking my house in Alma. So that's that lightning. Look at the heavy rain. Yeah, there you go. Nice little lightning bolt. So weather's going to be top story at 9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, the storm activity may be east of us. So, what is going on with this system, and what about that snow potential, as we've been mentioning, for literally less than 12 hours from now? It's pretty amazing how much that temperature is going to drop, but we'll take a look at that here. And you'll notice that those temperatures are really going to drop, and also the potential for winter weather starts to increase. So, let me show you this. Going back real quick to the graphics. So this we're going to get wraparound precipitation. I don't think we get 2 inches of snow, but then again, the models sucked at the precipitation today. They were really terrible. Although we had it, we included the storm chances. The Storm Prediction Center yanked the risk back west. Now we've got what, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings so far, and a risk that didn't even have thunderstorms as of yesterday. I'm rolling my eyes because it's a little frustrating. But you're going to notice that as we move into our Thursday morning, we get this wraparound. This is an intense system, folks. And the temperatures dropping are going to be pretty swift and dramatic. And the farther north you go, the better the chance that you'll see this light snow accumulation. And as we move along in time, you can see that activity dropping to the southeast. If we look at this with the snow, you'll see right here a little bit of a dusting. So just to let you know, these storms are going to miss northwest Arkansas. The storm activity, as we've been mentioning, is going to be focused in the river valley. That's exactly where it is. It's focused in the river valley. And then we go to the north, and you can see there's no storms in northwest Arkansas. So not to say that there won't be any more that develop on the leading edge of this line, which is possible, but the most significant storm activity will be in the river valley. It's really just a cluster of storms that's providing the severe weather. Right now, that hail size is pretty good size, and it's right now over 2 inches, and it's going to be crossing Poto Mountain Road. If you live in between Hartford and Bates on Poto Mountain Road, you're going to be getting some pretty sizable hail. Let me know at Weather Dan on my Twitter handle if you're getting any type of reports, or if you're getting any thing that you're seeing. Let's go to some of the comments here, and we'll take a look at what's going on. And raining hard in Alma. In the meantime, let's look at some WeatherBug Network cameras while we're doing that. So Fort Smith Public Library, the rain's kind of already shifting east. Oh, good lightning. Yeah. Oh, Amble Crawler too. Awesome. All right. A lot of lightning with that. That shows you it's a pretty intense supercell. There's some distant rumbling going on in Winslow. So Winslow is on the north end of that line. No, say it ain't snow, Dan. Josh Marshall here. We're ready in case this storm doesn't, in fact, happen to go tornado warm, but I don't think it will. The ingredients, the conditions just aren't there. But a really impressive lightning show, huh? That is a good one. Snow in the morning. I do believe so. We've already answered if there's anything in northwest Arkansas. It doesn't look like it. Big lightning and thunder in Alma. This is looking south from Fort Smith. Good lightning show. Shouldn't be surprised winter isn't over yet. Oh, it's going to feel so much like winter. You're going to hate me. Hail just north of Mountainburg. What's the size of that hail, by the way, James? I know. 84-69 Hogs. Lost to Bama. Man. We really needed Nick Smith Jr., huh? That was a big, and Brazil, losing him was not good. Beekeeper and bees are acting strange. I'll tell you what, animals will act strange and know the weather's about to change. Really good lightning show, though. And the closer this storm gets to our Mount Magazine WeatherBug Network camera, the better this lightning show is going to be, too. Right now, a little choppy. Let me see if I bring that up on a different feed. See if it's a little cleaner. Because that's pretty choppy. Yeah, there we go. Check this out. This is a little smoother. A lot of lightning off in the distance from that Mount Magazine WeatherBug Network camera. What a day, huh? When is this all going to pass Northwest Arkansas? About midnight. It's going to be over. Love lightning. Yeah, and that's why we got the lightning tie on. Already had it on before there were even any storm chances in the forecast. Dan C and Amble crawlers. That's a twofer. Twofer. Kids always acting kind of strange. Maybe they have some bee in them. That's funny. I believe that. My kids always act kind of strange too. It's been feeling like spring. My son did the best prank ever on my daughter. Oh my goodness. It was so funny. So you know those backup cameras? You got to see this. We're still watching this storm, by the way. Quarter-size hail right now over the Ouachitas, southern Sebastian County. But you got to see this. So this is what my son put on my daughter's car backup camera. See that? Look at that. It's like a face. And so when she backed up this morning, half asleep, this is what she ended up seeing. It's like some creepy guy from hey, the camera didn't like that either. It's like some creepy guy from Roblox that's on there. And it was like really creepy looking. And anyways, that's what he put on her backup camera. Now that was a good practical joke. I enjoyed that. Again, Mount Magazine showing the lightning off of the distance. Pretty impressive lightning show. So this is highly electrified. It's funny too, because what was it? Yesterday there wasn't even a thunderstorm risk. Now that's funny because look at this. We got lightning all over the place. You could see the system moving in. You knew it was strong. You could see it on the water vapor and never wavered on our storm chances. Went 60% in the river valley from yesterday. I'm really interested to see what other people have for the snow chances tomorrow, because I think it's a little underdone in my opinion. See, it looks like a hook on this storm, but we know that the ingredients just aren't there for surface-based storms. So there you go, right there. There's that storm system coming in. But check this out. There's the wraparound. See that? Now, there is some dry air being entrained in this wraparound, and maybe it's a little overdone, but the track of this low is going southeast. So we'll get this, and not only that, but the cold conveyor belt is intensifying, and this storm system will continue to churn. So as it drops southeast, I think we start to get some of that winter weather and a whole lot colder too. This front that's coming in means business. If we look at the temperature drop, you'll see that. So let's look at the regional. There you go. Stand by. Here's the regional temps. Yeah, you can see the colder weather. 32 in Goodland, 48 in Wichita. We're still in the lower 60s. So, all right. So the timing of this, for those that haven't seen this yet, let me get to some timing. This is what we're having right now, the storm chances. But those storm chances really aren't materializing for Northwest Arkansas because it's at 40%. There you see 40% down to 20%, and then it goes to 70%. The 70% is in the morning hours. I don't know about that, Jennifer. I'm not surprised at this lightning show in the least, considering that you have very cold temperatures aloft, which is why the hail is going to be pretty good size. You also have a very intense jet stream. You have a very intense weather system that's coming through. You have a lot of lift. If we had surface-based ingredients, we could have been getting rocking and rolling with severe thunderstorm potential. Stand by. Josh is calling. What's going on, man? I'm on Facebook Live. Oh, you want to? Yeah, but they're big, but they're not surface based. Yeah, they're elevated and they have large hail, but they're not tornadic. They will not be tornadic either. Yeah, you can come on in, man. I'm not going to stop you. All right. All right. Sounds good. Josh Rugger coming in, even though it's not his day to come in, he's coming in. But let's go back to some snow totals. So this is what the model shows overnight tonight, tomorrow morning, really around 8, 9 o'clock. You're going to get a little bit of snow coming in, and it's going to be right around, I'd say around 8, 9 o'clock. I'd say a little earlier, 7, 8. I think it's a little bit, yeah, about 7, 8 o'clock. Ooh, yeah, good idea. Hold on just a second. Not a real big one, but you'll get a little bit of small hail. The bigger hail is south of you in Logan County. Let's see. Hey Josh, can you bring a Baja Blast Freezy? I'll send him a winky smiley face. He probably won't be able to because after the game, I can't imagine how bad the traffic's going to be. But anyways, there's a look at the future track snow, and here's the deal: the models are showing there's one model that's not, and it's the national blended model, and it's really not good lately. It has not done a good job. We'll see. Maybe it doesn't snow and it's the only one that's right. But if we look at the snow totals, it's not anything to write home about. But the fact is that we have precipitation. It's more than just a slight chance. And there you can see it: snow accumulation, the graph, the European, the GFS, the NAM. They're all showing it to some extent. So River Valley precipitation chances are bumping up a little bit more. We're taking that up to 60%. So there you go. There's the forecast for the River Valley. And then it doesn't really have as much tomorrow morning because it kind of misses the area. But what a big hailer north of Cawthron. Thankfully, this is in a very rural area. Looks like it does have a little bit of a 3-body scatter spike. So let me go to the radar here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt the Weather Service issued an update. Here's MEGADOPPLER. The time is right now just a little after 8:40 and 16 seconds. And so here's the storm. And the circulation is a little bit misleading because it's not in conjunction with the reflectivity. So there's your hail core. But as you see here, this is in very rural areas. So south of Patterson, this is all areas that are getting impacted, but this is a heavily forested area with very rural conditions. But man, does the temperature drop tomorrow. If you haven't heard, we're going to get a big drop. So a few hail cores here and there, some small hail moving into parts of Franklin County, a little bit of a line right there, another line. There's a little bit of a bigger hail core. This could severe warn right here on northeastern Crawford County. That's going to be moving through northern Franklin County. And then here's some additional activity. So this might be popping up and forming a little bit of rain and thunderstorm activity right about on schedule. So no doubt, more trees, more debris, that's for sure, especially with the leaf debris. So here's a golf ball hail that was reported by 1.5 inch near Howe. Then you have Heavener reporting about quarter size hail. And I think it could have gotten a lot bigger than that. I could think it could have been about golf balls in this area, but not many people to report on it. Yeah. People are saying they're agreeing with me with the sky rumbling and the grumbling with the Razorback basketball game. Kind of disappointing that we lost. Let's watch this lightning show, you and me together here. We'll check it out. Constant lightning. So someone had a good question about static electricity. Can you measure the static electricity? So typically when you have what's called a very steep and strong EML, which is called the elevated mix layer, which basically creates very steep lapse rates. Those steep lapse rates can, in conjunction, bring dry conditions aloft, which, by the way, this hail is really getting big. It's funny, too, because the computer models with the HRRR and looking at the soundings, they were showing baseball hail from a previous sounding that's very similar to the one that we saw tonight. So even though the severe weather threat didn't even exist in our area, now it's pretty much there. It's kind of I was really, I'm not going to say anything bad, but I was just really questioning where that risk was when it was updated at 17:30 yesterday. So just take the high road, see how it evolves, see how everything develops. But man, that is going to come very close to Mount Magazine, and we might be seeing that fall as we're watching it. Oh yeah, that's coming right towards Mount Magazine. This is going to be great. That's going to be right about 9 o'clock that we get on that thing. So there's the severe weather risk. Notice how it has shifted west quite a bit, hasn't it? Now it includes northwest Arkansas. Strong storm or two, mainly 8 p.m. to midnight. So we're right on the ball with all that and the timing. Let's go back to MEGADOPPLER. So our WeatherBug network camera is located right here, Mount Magazine. Oh yeah, look at that. It's coming right towards us. So all we got to do is just sit back and watch. And we'll check this out. Yeah, it was already outflow dominant, honestly. Let's see. It's already outflow down. It's already elevated, too. Maybe eat a piece of meat. Hey, speaking of Legend of Zelda, Roby, the new one, the Tears of the Kingdom, is coming out at the end of this year. It's been a long wait, but man, what a game Breath of the Wild is. Nothing heading to grab it, but something headed towards Boonville and Magazine, and that's the lights that you're seeing off in the distance. So, Brittany, no storms in our area. We might have a few rumbles of thunder, but nothing major like this supercell that's in southern southern Logan and northern Scott County and southern Sebastian County. Man, that's an impressive storm. One supercell is taking away that environment. So going back to MEGADOPPLER real quick, you'll notice a little bit of a pop-up storm near Shakota that's moving northeast. Let's see if it has any lightning with it. Oh, yeah. So we'll get some thunderstorm activity. Yeah, we sure will. And there you see that quarter-size hail. That could become a severe warning storm. Look at all that lightning. And then look at that storm that has a lot of lightning. So what's the culprit of all this? It's a really impressive water vapor loop, and it's a very intense system. And so if we look at the water vapor, this is just classic, folks. Absolutely classic. So first of all, you've got a very intense vortex. There's the spin. Notice how that's dropping south. So that's why the models have increased the wraparound precipitation potential. On the leading edge of the nose of that dry punch, you've got the strongest lift. If it was cold enough, this is where your thunder snow would be, right here, but it's not. Then, as we work our way south, you got more westerlies. You got the nose of the dry punch coming in right here. You see that darker colored air? That darker colored air represents the dry punch. That is steepening lapse rates and also what we call creating an EML. The models stunk at predicting when the cap would break, so that's already happening. And it was catching on, but a couple days ago it wasn't. So that's why we didn't go very high on those rain chances until yesterday. Yesterday I saw it and I was like, yeah, no, I could totally see this. So there's the low. And then you'll see on the leading edge, there's the thunderstorm complex. And then look at how cold that cloud top is compared to the rest of the area. You can tell because it's got the blue shades on there. Those blue shades represent colder cloud tops. And that's a classic textbook supercell with some large hail. So we're talking 2-inch size hail. Yeah. Next person that's going to be impacted by that is going to be Elm Park and Booth. So if you live along Highway 71 in northern Scott County, north of Waldron, you've got about 10 minutes to get your car to a safe place. Otherwise, you're going to get blasted with hail. We're talking some pretty sizable hail. So if we look at this warning, they have hail to 1.5 inches. Okay, so they've upped it. They've upped the ante on that. That's good. They got it to ping pong size. So you're looking at IMEGADOPPLER. It's about 8:50. I'm going to have to go here pretty soon because we're going to have a newscast. But we'll cover this storm on air. And if it ends up flaring up to even stronger limits, then we'll go ahead and we'll provide coverage on TV if it's tornado warned. I don't see that happening, not with this environment, not with these ingredients. It's a little bit long-winded to get into them, why it's not. But we just don't have the surface-based instability. We do have the wind shear, but everything doesn't line up perfectly. There's the new severe thunderstorm warning, though. Really big hail, though. My goodness. Stand by. Oh, yeah. So that one storm that we were looking at that I was telling you is going to be severe is now severe. And there it is. It's that northern edge of the line. Interesting how the models barely showed any precipitation a couple of days ago. Well, just put a feather in the cap, I guess, for this one. Okay, guys, we'll watch it closely. We'll keep you updated. I got to get ready for this 9 o'clock newscast. Until then, we'll let you know about it. Have a great rest of your night. It's going to be a lot colder tomorrow. Snow falls in the morning. I think we get a little bit of a light dusting. Roads shouldn't be a problem because we're way too warm right now. We will eventually drop off to freezing, but it's going to be a little while. So if you're wanting to know the threat area, it's going to be in the River Valley. There will be some thunderstorms moving through northwest Arkansas, and that's going to be later on tonight. Everything will be out of here by midnight, so it'll be all gone. Thanks, guys, for watching. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you later. Take care.